just started idling high. This is the Kia Sportage, and originally it wasn't doing all this. It was idling, it didn't idle, but now it's idling high. Let me see if I can get this thing to shut down. I tell you, the first thing I'm gonna do is sit on the idle and control valve and see if it changes. Like, it was huffing and puffing. As soon as I turned the camera on, it kind of calmed down. Let's just see what codes are coming up inside the engine once it finishes. This thing is so simple. Look at this. They don't even have that many modules. Okay, engine coolant temperature system circuit high. Engine coolant thermostat below thermostat regulated temperature. This is interesting. We're gonna ignore the transmission, but this could be something. But depending on if the temperature can't be properly regulated, and we might have a fluid regulating temperature circuit anyway. So let's just focus on these. Let's see if it's correlated with the idle system, because if the coolant temperature sensor is failed, then it could cause some instability with idling. Off the top of my head, and it's normal now. Oh wow, there it is shutting down. Look at that! Wow, look how it's fluctuating. Look at that! It was. Let's graph this. And I knew once I hit on that idler control valve and then change, I'm like, yeah, something else going on here. See that dip in the back? Right there. Look at it. It's just jumping. Let me let it sit for a second. Oh, I had to get a screenshot. There you go. There you go. Look at that. It was just leveling off at 180 something. Look at it. It's just going nuts. Man, that's interesting. Uh-oh. It's gonna start going crazy. I wonder when it start really huffing, how low does it go? Does it go well below 100, like 40 degrees or something, or what? Oh, no, nope. Come on, tank, damn it, tank. We're going down. There we go. It's going down. Come on. It's like kind of like watching the stock market. I just needed to tank. I got puts on this. That's what I got. Oh. Come on. It's starting to idle high too. Let me see if I can pull up the idle with this, the engine RPM. Oh man, there we go. It's gonna do before I can get to it. There we go. Negative. Negative. Oh my gosh. Why does it do it when I want to, as soon as I want to add it on there, I want to get an engine RPM with it. No, that's vehicle speed, engine speed, merge graphs. There we go. There we go. Look how they diverged. It just tanked. Engine coolant temperature at 32 went down to 5 degrees. I mean, it's kind of obvious. You know what we're gonna need. You know exactly what we're going. This is easy. This is real easy. Let's find the coolant temperature sensor. I think that's the hardest part. We do have a coolant leak down at the bottom. I'm not sure specifically where it's coming from, but I feel like it's right at the thermostat housing. Yeah, right at thermostat housing. I'm gonna have to change the thermostat and gasket. Yeah, like right in it. Let me make sure it's not the hose. No, it's at the thermostat. Okay, so I'm gonna recommend we change the thermostat because we are below regulated temperature, and we're gonna have to change the coolant temperature sensor. I think I gotta find out where it's located. Oh, there we go. Should be down there. That should be it. Right there. Let me wiggle it and see if anything changes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Uh-oh. Yeah. I moved it and it's definitely doing some funky stuff. It might, could it be? No, I don't think it's a connection problem because if you push on the pins, yeah, it's just gonna be a bad sensor. This is hot down here. Hold on. Find something else. That's not gonna do anything. I need to change this sensor. Just get that changed. It's just too hot to keep playing around with it. Change that and thermostat. Call it a day. Let me call the parts store. I called the parts store. We got everything in stock. We got the thermostat, gasket, and the coolant temperature sensor for all less than $100. I want to say. So what I'm gonna do, I can get to everything from here, but if it's something with the view from distorting the view of the camera, then I'll probably pull out an air box and get my hand around so I have that space here. I can get the thermostat out, lift the hose up, then I can gain access to the coolant temperature sensor and unplug that from this area because the blower hose is in the way, and then I can remove that with the space that I'll have available. So these are pretty easy. I think these are 13 millimeter. Don't hold me on that. 12. It's kind of nice to work on a warm car. It's so cold outside. I got a pan down here, so I'm just gonna let the fluid drain while I go and get a thermostat and the coolant temperature sensor. So I'm gonna take this time to get it out now versus waiting later. I don't know if any of y'all ever pulled one of these motors out, but these are one of the easiest engine jobs you will ever do. Oh shoot. gasket. It was just sitting in there. It wasn't. It's like it was sitting in this gasket. Either way. It's gonna get replaced, so. Looked like it was sitting over the gasket. That's what it looked like. Like it's kind of mushroomed out in a way. I'm still gonna replace the gasket and the thermostat just to be on the safe side. All right, let's see if we can get to the coolant temp sensor. And I'm still gonna inspect the pins, but the main thing is, if it's gonna be something internally failing, because if it was a connection issue, it would just drop off. It's not gonna be something gradual. Could be, but typically as slowly the slow dissension that it had, it's just not going to be connection. Even though when I moved it around, it did make a change, but it didn't make much of a change regularly. It's just going to be an old sensor. Let me see what, I think this is a 17. I know I'm wrong with the size of the connector. That's not it. I got something close that I can get my hands on. So 13/16. This is not it, but I can still just be able to get it off of here. I'm just gonna use this to pull it out. There's this sensor there. I wouldn't mind just plugging it in and see what it looks like while it's out. Just turn the key. So it seems like what I did was I wound up putting some brake cleaner on it and getting it super cold. But this information seemed to be delayed. So even though if you disconnect it, it didn't drop off to like -0. I'm sorry, -0, -40 or something. It just stayed at a default state. So if I take it out right now, it'll probably stay at 88. I just wanted to get the sensor really cool and see what it do, because I was like, oh man, did I pull the right sensor out or not? And like it just sitting there at 88. So if you take it out and just to verify that you're on the right sensor, some vehicles have delayed populated information. This seems to be one of those vehicles. Nah, I didn't know. So this is it. Let's go grab a new one. But this housing is a little loose too. See it. It is loose. Let me go grab these parts. All right, just got back from O'Reilly's Auto Parts. So we got the new sensor here. Let's see how new this one looked. This is a import direct. Here's the part number if you care about it. It wasn't that expensive. It really wasn't. 17-1287. It wasn't that expensive. So look how good these look. The other one wasn't even leaking internally. The one on the right here. It was just old and worn out. They look identical. They look exactly the same. And mind you, the head on this one is just a little loose. You take a little bit of force to twist and pull, twist it, and it'll break away and have some incremental movement. So I'm gonna get that in there. Got a new thermostat with the gasket. You can tell the difference on this one. Its thickness. See how thick the one on the right is in comparison to the one on the left. Well, right, let's do our thing. Get this put back in here and check our data. So we're gonna pop this sensor in here first. And now the socket head on this is a 19 millimeter. That's what goes on there. Let's see if I can find the hole. Use your finger. So it's like a MPT pipe thread. So it's conical like. So when you go in there, it'll start to have some resistance. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure it's a torque spec, but this is more of a feel and experience kind of thing. When I feel it get snug, then I'll do one more rotation until it lines up with the original sensor, so I can release the connector and pull it out from the top so the connector is accessible. Other than that, time to get the thermostat in here. I'm gonna get the thermostat in here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna install this at 12 o'clock, and this is gonna be the indicator, this check valve. And the reasons being, if it's at 12 o'clock, this will not create any sort of vacuum and restriction from allowing fluid to get to the back of this thermo-regulated spring here. So while it's up at 90 degrees, air can pass through and collect in the back and submerge the spring, and it has an air release here, so it can freely do that. If it was down, it'll just create a sealed barrier, and it can't do that, so it'll be very difficult to get the air out the system so this thermostat can open up properly. Isn't it perfect? It's going to take its time falling down. Now, I have a couple options. I could just probably take that upper radiator hose, just crack it a little bit, and that'll let things flow a lot more freely. You know, you want to go to the highest hose, and so you can let the air just escape, because right now it's competing against itself, and then it's bubbling. Anyway, that ain't no big deal. So here we are. Key on, engine off. Temperature sensors reading at 84 degrees. We don't want this to deviate from each other like before. It drops, RPM goes up. Once the coolant temperature drop, it should just be a smooth ascending transition for this coolant temperature sensor. Let's start it up. So here we are with RPM. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna slow this graph down. I'm gonna leave it on 4. I'm just gonna slow it down right there and let everything warm up. It ain't been that long, probably about 3 minutes. We're at 127 degrees and rising up. This is just a nice slow gradual ascension. This is great. So we should be able to achieve 180, 200. I'm gonna let it get up there, and we should just level off, and it should just be just as smooth as it's currently coasting right now. And remember, before it was just erratic. It couldn't stabilize. It should be fine now. Let me wait till it get to about 190 and I'll come back. All right, it's been another few minutes. This green trace was the engine speed, and this is just me revving it up to get the engine temp to rapidly rise. But it's just slowly rising on its own. I mean, the thermostat's doing its job, regulating it, and mainly we're not having any drop-offs. So this issue's fixed. It runs excellent. The coolant leak. So my hands are dry. They're still dry. There's nothing there. We're in good shape. I'm gonna let this car ride out. I think the heat's working and it's circulating. We're good. I can't begin to tell you how good we are. And when it's an easy diagnosis, I mean, as fast as I had the camera rolling, it just naturally just knew, like, oh, okay, idle issues, idle out control valve, do anything. Let's check coolant temp sensor. I didn't even think about that. The thermostat is what made me think about it, in a way. I think there was the behind the scenes context clue. So like, go ahead and check that thermostat. Anyway, again, I replaced the thermostat due to the gasket just being bad. Thermostat probably didn't need to be replaced. I mean, the coolant temperature sensor was obviously defective. No, so we're fine. This problem was kind of ongoing for a while, and I did tell her, hey, look, let's just let it get a little worse. And it got as bad as it's going to get, to the point where it would not start. Like this morning when I came out to try to start it up, it wouldn't crank on its own. All because of a coolant temperature sensor, not the idle control valve. Cool. Hey, look, if anything happened, I'll definitely update. If this vehicle got to come back for anything, especially this aftermarket part, it's important to wreck. Who knows? I mean, I've had them fail. I'm a proponent of aftermarket. I support the companies I deal with. That's what a warranty's for. So, it's a Sunday. I don't think Hyundai Kia is going to be open. It is what it is. Hey, if anything happened, I'll definitely update. Hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed. Had a rich with some more work. See you on the next one.